So this is a brand new Giant Propel Aero race bike, and it's not just incrementally better. Giant claims it's 18.4 watts better than the old bike it replaces. It has a lighter frame, a brand new one-piece carbon fiber handlebar for the first time, new Cadex Max 50 wheels, more tire clearance, more compliance, more stiffness. Yes, more good things on a brand new race bike. But more exciting than all those claims are that it might be the best value aero race bike you can buy this year. And to find out what the bike's all about, I popped along to Giant HQ in Leicester a few days ago to film the bike and get a first-hand look at all the changes and share with you in today's video. And there will be a full review on the bike in the near future. But right now, with this video going live today, I'm on a plane to South America to take part in a bike packing race. You might have seen my video on that, link down below in case you missed it. But today, it's all about the new Giant Propel. Before we get into the nitty gritty of the new bike, it's worth just talking about the positioning of the Propel. Many companies are merging their aero and lightweight bikes into one platform, like the Trek Madone SLR, the Specialized Tarmac S8 for example, but other companies like Giant are sticking with a lightweight bike in their range of TCR, and an aero race bike, the Propel, and an endurance bike, the Defy. But the gap between the TCR and the Propel is definitely closing, and with this new update, that gap has narrowed quite a bit as the new Propel got lighter and moving closer to the TCR, but importantly, there is still a gap there, and a big enough distinction for Giant to stick with the TCR and the Propel. Simply put, if you value going fast and you're racing, the Propel is the bike to choose for. If you want a lightweight bike for climbing, you're a weight weenie, or prefer the ride quality of a lightweight package and how it looks, then the TCR is still a valid option, but not as aero in the wind tunnel as a Propel. It goes without saying that the new bike looks almost the same, pretty much as the old bike. Definitely a case of copy and paste with a few refinements and revisions here and there. Pretty much the same as we saw with the new Cannondale Super 6 Evo just a few weeks ago. So not the most radical redesign. Definitely a case of sticking with a proven, tried and tested design and format and just finding improvements where they can, but sticking to that sort of blueprint design of that bike. There are more extreme, mad aero bikes on the market these days, from the likes of Carnago and Factor if you want something more wild and futuristic, but Giant, like many bike brands, is sticking with a proven format and just finessing it around the edges to find some small improvements. And despite the bike looking the same as the old one, the improvements are pretty decent, it has to be said. Finding improvements on a bike that was already very fast and lightweight is no easy task at all. So the improvements across the board are definitely worthwhile. The big story with the Giant Propel, despite looking the same as the old bike, is the fact it's a complete system design. Sometimes a bike brand will just focus on the frame and the fork in terms of the aero improvements, but Giant has focused on the complete system. So the frame, the fork, the handlebar or cockpit as some people call it, and the wheels and tyres as well for that complete system. It's not the first time we've heard this talk of a complete or total system integration, that holistic approach to designing a bike with a rider and the handlebar and everything that determines how aero and how fast a bike is. But something I expect to see more bike brands really focus on in the future, and we are seeing more bike brands now design their own handlebars, their own wheels and tyres as well, to really consider every part and that interaction of all the components on the bike to hopefully produce a bigger saving overall. And the result of all these improvements to the new frame are some fairly considerable aero savings. In Giant's own testing, so take that with a pinch of salt, the new bike reduces wind drag by over 12 watts compared to the old bike with the same wheels and tyres and the same testing parameters. Rolling resistance with the new wheels and tyres is down 5.6 watts, and the wheel rotating drag another half a watt, so marginal gains there. And the total energy savings they are claiming is 18.44 watts. So some saving coming from the reduced drag of the frame and fork, and some from the roll resistance of the wheels and tyres. So that really does emphasise that total system approach to reducing drag, both aero and roll resistance on the bike. You have to look really closely at the new frame to spot the changes over the old bike, but they are there if you look very closely indeed and you know the old Propel very well. The frame has been designed to be more aero where it matters, so mostly at the front of the bike, and save weight and improve comfort at the back of the frame where aero matters less. So starting at the front, there's a new overdrive Aero head tube, which is slim and tapered with a D-shaped steering tube to allow space for brake hoses to go inside the frame and fork. There's also for the first time a one-piece carbon fiber handlebar and stem, the Contact SLR Aero. Also designed to offer smoothness as well, with a 12.8% improvement in compliance over the old two-piece setup on the SL bike. This new handlebar features on both the range-topping SL and the mid-range Pro models, while the entry-level advanced bikes get a two-piece handlebar and stem. Meanwhile, at the back of the bike, to increase comfort and smoothness, the seat tube, the chainstays and the seat posts have been redesigned to offer a claimed 25% improvement in compliance to make it a smoother ride than before. The range-topping SL still has a seat mast, and you might ask why, and that's because it's lighter and provides more tune compliance according to Giant. Tyre clearance is now up to 32mm, which sound quaint in 2026, and definitely a good overdue move by Giant to put the Propel in line with other race bikes on the market right now. And out back there is the, I guess, required move to a UDH dropout for running a SRAM Explorer group set, or future-proof for any new SRAM or Shimano group sets coming down the line. I've no info on that, but a smart move, and move by other bike brands as well. And they are sticking with a press-fit bottom bracket because they own their manufacturing setup, and their track record, reliability record with press-fit bottom brackets is extremely good. And I own several Giants and no issues at all. And no reason for Giant to move back to a 68mm threaded bottom bracket as we've seen some other bike brands do in recent years. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a brand new one-piece handlebar and stem on the Propel, or Cockpit as many people call it, but I don't really like the term Cockpit because it's not a fighter jet, it's a bicycle. Anyway, so the old Propel, even the SL, had a two-piece handlebar and stem, Aero, but now we have a one-piece, as is fairly standard on Aero race bikes across the market. So a brand new one-piece handlebar and stem on both the SL and Pro, while the entry-level Advanced gets a two-piece setup. And this new one-piece handlebar looks really nice, has a very nice shape. I've not ridden it yet, but it feels really good with my hands on it. So as narrow as the rules allow, on a size ML I ride, that means 37 centimeters in the hoods, the same as other handlebars from other bike brands. Slightly flared to the hoods and flared drops for extra width. And I like the profile, the shape of the tops. I'm not really a fan of massive, deep Aero profiles. They might be Aero, yes, and fine if you ride on the hoods and drops all the time. But if you're climbing on the tops or enjoying the view when cruising along on the tops, that slimmer profile fits my hands really nice. So nice handlebar, a nice sturdy out front mount as well. So I can't wait to ride a bike and see how the handlebar, how it feels and how it performs from an ergonomic point of view, and how it compares to what Specialized, Canyon and Cannondale offer on their bikes, because the move to one-piece handlebars, which are very expensive, and that limitation on adjustment of fit, stem length, width, and it's such a key component of the bike, it has to be good from an ergonomic, comfort, performance point of view. So a big talking point on new road bikes these days. So one to watch out for in the near future. We'll review on the bike coming right here to Just Ride Bikes. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit the button down below. One small detail that definitely stood out for me lacking on the new bikes, and something we are seeing more common on new bikes from the likes of Canyon and Pinarello, are the closed, smoothed over through axle dropouts on the rear stays and the fork from the drive side. Those bikes with those smooth dropouts do look cleaner and prettier from that drive side, and the Giant definitely stood out for the lack of those closed through axles. No idea why, but one detail that stood out for me. The previous generation Propel definitely moves the game on in terms of how light an Aero bike can be, with a top-end SL with Shimano Dura DI2 weighing 6.8 kilos when I rode it a few years ago. Link to our review down below in case you missed it. And the new bike is lighter still. Not by a massive amount, but a decent improvement over the old Propel. Giant is claiming a weight of 800 grams for the Propel Advanced SL frame and 863 grams for both the Advanced and Advanced Pro, which share the same frame. Total frameset weight, meanwhile, is down nearly 40 grams for the SL and 85 grams for the Pro. Complete system weight with the handlebar, the wheels and tyres is down over 335 grams for the SL, 100 grams for the Pro, but the entry-level Advanced gets the biggest saving of all when you factor in the total system of nearly 700 grams, and that's very impressive indeed, and shows Giant isn't ignoring the entry-level bikes in its range at all. I put an Advanced Pro with a SRAM Force Axis group set, size medium, with no pedals fitted on the scales, and a weight is very impressive indeed for what is not a top-of-the-range model. And it really shows how Giant have saved weight on the new bike and narrowed the gap not just to the TCR, but other bikes in the category like the Specialized Tarmac SL8. There are also new Cadex wheels and Aero tyres as well, which are part of the complete system approach to a new bike. But I'll do a deep dive into wheels and tyres when I review the bike in the near future. But now I talk about price, because price is where Giant always scores very well, and the new range does look extremely good indeed, with some enticing options across the lineup. So let's talk money and what you get for your money, and I've got my notes here. So range in the UK starts from £2,500 and goes up to £10,500. And there are 3 levels of bike: the Advanced, Advanced Pro and Advanced SL, made from 2 frames and 2 forks. So the Advanced gets the Advanced frame and fork, the Advanced Pro gets the Advanced frame and SL fork, and the SL gets the SL frame and SL fork. Hopefully that makes sense. So 3 tiers from 2 frames and forks, so quite smart there. And that means the entry-level Advanced is offering amazing value for money, because you get the same frame as the mid-range, just a heavier fork. And the cheapest model, the £2,500 model, looks a fantastic option. £2,500 grand, get a full carbon frame and fork, deep section alloy wheels that look carbon fibre from a distance, and Shimano's excellent 12-speed 105 mechanical group set with hydraulic disc brakes and Giant's own 2-piece handlebar and stem. And yeah, it won't be the lightest bike in the world, but performance for money, it looks fantastic. And that's a bike I want to review in the near future, because it looks a great option for somebody upgrading from a cheaper entry-level bike, say, to something a bit more speed focused, somebody wanting to get into road racing, say, or somebody doing a triathlon, an Ironman with some clip-on handlebars. It would be a good sort of multi-sport bike for that sort of rider. And going up the range, there are quite a few bikes that stood out when I was at the Giant UK showroom. For me, the Pro in the Propel and TCR has always been a sweet spot of giving you plenty of performance and low weight, but not being eye-wateringly expensive. And for me, the Advanced Pro with SRAM Force Axis group set, it costs £6 grand, so quite a lot of money. It's probably the pick of the range for me, because you get everything you really need on a road bike these days. Don't really need that £10.5 grand bike unless you're a weight winnie or have deep pockets. With this model, you get everything I think you need and all the performance you could ever ask for. So full carbon frame and fork, the 1-piece carbon fibre handlebar and stem, carbon deep section wheels with carbon spokes, and SRAM's latest mid-range electronic wired group set. It looks incredible, nothing to change at all. Ready to race, ready to do a sportive, ready to smash your mates around a chain gang. That looks a great option. So that for me is, yeah, the pick of the range. Get that on a bike to work scheme, yeah, pretty decent bike. The only thing I would say though, from looking at the bikes in the Giant showroom, is the paint finishes, the colours are not the most exciting, and Giant does get hit over the head with a stick quite a lot here about being boring. And the paint finishes for the Propel don't do much to really get away from that reputation. There are some standout paint finishes and options, but more options, only one colour option on each frame is a bit limiting, and I would love to see some bolder colours, because the bikes are offering everything you want in terms of price, performance, specification, just lacking that sparkle, that desirability that an exciting paint finish does create. So let me know your thoughts on these paint finishes by dropping a comment down below. And one other detail really stood out as well, show that Giant is paying attention to future trends, as we saw with the Super 6 Evo recently, All the bikes in the showroom were medium or medium large, so my size essentially, and all had 170 cranks, so shorter cranks. So definitely a move in the right direction, embracing that trend for short cranks without going extreme. So there we are, the brand new Giant Propel, an evolution of a reasonably popular model, not maybe as exciting as other aero bikes in the world, but definitely one that offers amazing value for money. And if you can live with the paint finishes, you are getting incredible performance for the money. Short cranks, narrow handlebars, power meters across the range, carbon wheels, nice carbon fiber handlebar and stem. They are fantastic looking bikes. Maybe not visually fantastically looking, but in terms of what you get for your money and the speed they offer, yeah, they are looking really good this year. And I'll have a review on one, hopefully two different price points over the next few months. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel by hitting the button down below. Let me know your thoughts, your reaction on Giant's new Propel. There's a lot of interesting competition in the aero category right now, and bikes trying to be lightweight and aero, like the Super 6 Evo or the Tarmac S8, and bikes trying to be just aero and a little bit lightweight, like the Canyon Air Road and other examples like that, and more mad aero bikes like the Carnago Y1 RS and the new Factor 1. And the Giant definitely takes a safe route, the safe path of a modest update on the previous bike, and the savings they found, while small, quite impressive. They found that much savings on the bike, and that total system approach is a very smart move as well, as we see in other bike brands do, not just the frame and fork, but the handlebars, the tyres and the wheels too. So yeah, lots to get excited about. Let me know your thoughts by dropping a comment down below, and stay tuned for a full review very, very soon. And if you want to see a review of the previous generation Propel, that's linked right up there.